ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Oh my God, this is on Menlo. Oh my God. Oh my God.
New video captures the deadly moments when police opened fire on a man they say left them no choice. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. That shooting happened on Menlo Avenue in City Heights, and that's where we find our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura. Police say the man initially obeyed their calls to put down the gun, but then reached for a gun and pointed it at the officers.
And police are on scene working into the night to investigate the shooting. They tell us that 7 officers opened fire.
Oh my God, this is live. The cops is... Oh my God, this is on Menlo. Oh my God. Oh my God.
This Facebook Live doesn't show how the situation started, but captures the gunshots that follow. Winona Bolton, who was recording, says it happened so fast.
I just scrambled. I was just mentally scrambled.
This is the scene after the shooting as investigators taped off the 4200 block of Menlo Avenue in City Heights to piece together what happened. According to police, officers were called to the scene just before 4 p.m. Thursday when 2 females driving through the area were approached by a man who pointed a gun at them. They left and called police. When police made contact with the man,
the male initially complied and raised his hands, at which point a firearm fell from his clothing onto the ground near him. They continued giving him directions to back away from the weapon, but he refused to comply.
At that point, officers were waiting for a canine unit to assist in the arrest when the situation turned.
At one point, the male reached down to the ground, picked up the weapon, and pointed it directly at the officers, prompting several of them to open fire.
Even after the shots, police say the threat wasn't over. The man fell to the ground, still in possession of the gun and unwilling to give it up. At that point, police say they used a canine and beanbag round to arrest him. Police and medical crews gave him first aid and CPR, but could not save him. Police have not yet identified the man killed, but described him as a Hispanic man in his 30s or a light-skinned African American. Winona says the last thing she saw was the man on the ground complying with officers before the round of gunfire. She's hoping police release the body cam video.
I'm hoping that it did to justify the cops' actions. I'm hoping that it did. You know, I just cannot understand in that nanosecond why that man had to get shot up like he was at a firing.
Police say the 7 officers were placed on administrative leave. In City Heights, Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
New at 11, California is the first state to sue the Trump administration over a student visa policy issued this week. The new guidelines released Monday bar international students from staying in the U.S. if they're only taking online classes this fall. And those who violate the rules could face deportation. The state attorney general contends the policy would increase the spread of COVID-19 by requiring international students to take classes in person.
Also new at 11, the Sweetwater Union High School District has broken its silence after receiving a scathing audit. The audit alleged evidence of fraud and misappropriation of funds, leading to a multi-million-dollar deficit. Well, today the Board of Trustees said that all individuals involved in these illegal acts are no longer employed by the district. The board said it will also provide fraud detection and prevention training and create an anonymous hotline for reporting fraud.
We don't have any outdoor patio seating, and with that, we have limited sidewalk space around our restaurant.
Several restaurants unable to expand outdoor dining say they're losing business every day. And they're hoping the city will allow them to move their dining tables to the streets, just like the gas lamp. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo spoke to one restaurant manager who says the city's executive order doesn't really help them.
Despite setting up for physically distanced dining and practicing all other coronavirus safety guidelines, Urban in North Park is empty.
We had to resort to just doing to-go only again.
Derek Bailey is the general manager, once again forced to close for indoor dining.
I feel like we kind of did a lot of hard work to get our restaurant set up for social distancing and for all the stuff that they wanted to do to reopen. And then kind of it felt like just all that hard work just kind of got flushed down the toilet
On Tuesday, the mayor signed an executive order waiving outdoor permits, allowing businesses to seat their customers outside. Restaurants must still follow ADA guidelines. Urban North Park doesn't have the space.
We don't have any outdoor patio seating. And with that, we have limited sidewalk space around our restaurant.
Bailey hopes the city will come up with a plan that will help businesses like his, a plan that includes trading traffic on University Avenue for customers dining outside.
It'd be awesome to do some kind of street thing like they do in downtown and have some kind of blocked off areas.
On Tuesday, the mayor said they are working on a plan for outdoor dining to work for everyone citywide. The mayor says those specifics will be released next week. Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
And restaurants in La Mesa can now move their dining rooms outdoors. The city there issued an executive order just this afternoon, which temporarily allows public and private outdoor areas to now be used for dining. To take part, restaurant owners must obtain written authorization from the Director of Community Development and comply with all the health orders. There is no fee involved. La Mesa suspended indoor dining along with other restaurants in the county Monday due to the rise of COVID-19 cases.
Starting tomorrow, restaurants on a stretch of Grand Avenue in Escondido will be bringing their tables outside, and it will happen on Grand Avenue between Maple and Juniper Street. The Downtown Business Association committed $10,000 for outdoor shade tables and chairs. They're also reimbursing businesses the $100 permit fee to allow them to serve alcohol outside. Here are the latest coronavirus numbers. The county reported 560 new cases today, bringing our total to 18,400. There were also 9 additional deaths, bringing that total to 415.
A tumultuous deployment is finally over for the crew of the USS Roosevelt. The ship, which suffered through a coronavirus outbreak, returned to San Diego today. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala spoke to parents anxious to see their sailor.
Welcome home, welcome back.
Chris and Donna Kiley will finally be reunited with their son, Petty Officer Second Class Chris Kiley, once his shift is over Thursday.
He's looking forward to some good meals.
He's been deployed for 7 months on the USS Roosevelt. The ship returned to NAS North Island, but it was an unusual homecoming. No families crowded around. Instead, they had to wait in parking lots across the street to greet their sailors.
We saw the sailors lined up on the ship. That was pretty cool.
It was a challenging deployment for about 6,000 sailors after massive COVID-19 outbreak in March. More than 1,200 tested positive for the virus, and sadly, one sailor did not survive.
Very stressful.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
When he was in Guam, he had his phone, so we were able to talk to him every day if he wanted us to, and stay in contact with him and FaceTime with him to keep his spirits up because he was stuck in a room all by himself for over 3 weeks.
Their son never tested positive, but the ship pulled into Guam before its scheduled port visit so crews could quarantine in several locations.
He tested negative 3 times.
In response to the outbreak, the ship's commander at the time, Captain Brett Crozier, wrote a letter to Navy leadership sounding the alarm and asking for help. That letter was leaked to the media and Crozier was removed from his post. Many sailors on board didn't agree with the decision and cheered for Crozier when he was sent off the ship.
He said he respects him, though. Yeah, he said that he was well liked.
Despite the backlash, last month the Navy upheld the decision to fire Crozier, saying he didn't do enough soon enough to contain the spread. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
The Rear Admiral and the commanding officer said the crew disinfected and cleaned that ship 3 times a day, and there are currently no active COVID-19 cases on board.
Governor Newsom says California is ready for wildfire season despite the challenges coronavirus has brought. Today, he outlined a plan that includes money to bring on hundreds of seasonal and full-time firefighters. First responders say they also need the public to do their part to keep firefighters healthy and ready to go.
We need you as the public to wear your mask. Your mask is what's going to keep you safe from infections coming into your community, as well as keep our firefighters and emergency responders safe.
Governor Gavin Newsom says California has already seen more than 4,000 fires since January. Normally, it's about 2,500. California saw more than 600 wildfires last week alone.
La Mesa city officials say an external investigation into a controversial arrest has been completed and is now on its way to the La Mesa chief of police. The investigation is over, and this arrest made of Amari Johnson outside the Grossmont Transit Center on May 27th. The video shows an officer shoving and strong-arming Johnson. It went viral in the wake of the death of George Floyd. Well, just a few days later, protests and riots rocked La Mesa. Charges of assaulting a police officer and resisting arrest were eventually dropped against Johnson.
Well, a San Diego man was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison today for his role in a scheme that took millions of dollars from U.S. service members. Troy Rice Crawford pleaded guilty back in December to conspiracy charges. It was for an elaborate plan that utilized stolen identity information from service members to siphon their bank accounts. Crawford also has to pay over $100,000 in restitution and 3 years supervised release after completing his prison term.